So we're going to use for the next 14 days to talk about manifesting your dreams. We're going to start, we're building up towards the winter solstice. So the winter solstice is going to be on the 21st of December this year, the best day of the year to begin your manifestations and start to release the block. So we're going to then look at New Year's resolutions, moving into the first new moon of the new year, the first full moon of the new year, and we're going to really work as a team here, getting everybody we know together to put our energy into manifesting our dreams. So all of that being said, today I have Danny Rosenberg with us. He's a criminal attorney, owns his own law firm. I'm going to let him tell you about that. And we're going to talk about manifesting and how it is in his life, what questions he has, what thoughts he may have. And so that being said, Danny, you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Sure. My name is Danny Rosenberg. I am a litigating attorney. I have a law firm. I started primarily practicing criminal defense, which lends me a lot of stories and trauma, but I've been doing that for a long time, and my practice is expanded now. We have multiple lawyers, and we do a few fields in litigating, and we stick to the actual litigation more than just transactional work. But that's what I do. I've been doing it for 16, 17 years, a couple of years as an intern volunteer. Been professional with my own firm for about 12, 13, 14 years, something like that. So
fantastic.
Glad to be on with you.
I'm thrilled to have
Yoda, Kristen Bomas, who I call Yoda, by the way. That's my nickname. I was the first one to call her Yoda.
Yes, you are.
I claim
you get that. That's true. Danny was by far the first one to start calling me Yoda, and it's taken off. So I'm happy to be the little green monster. Okay, so tell us about manifestation. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? Where are you at with manifesting in your own life?
Well, it took me a lot of time to buy into manifestation, because it initially sounds like mumbo jumbo to a lot of people, especially when you start trying to impress the concept on people. It's kind of taken off in the mainstream more with law of attraction and similar, things are starting to come out where people are really starting to, tap into it. But yeah, it's taken a while. I've bought into it. I've always been doing it. Didn't realize I was doing it, but yeah, I'm at a point in my life where, I see the results of it. Obviously, I'm not some master at it. I have a lot of questions. I'm with Yoda a few times a week, asking and talking and learning. But I feel it's a very strong thing. Very strong. I try to teach my children it, but you talk to kids about it, they think it's mumbo jumbo. So
I think your kids are pretty damn magical, so they're probably getting it more than you realize, right?
I hope so. One would hope.
So Danny, you actively used manifestation through positive means, mantras, meditations. Can you talk a little bit about that for everybody?
I'm tapped into it, so I'm usually consciously aware of it.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, I also have a very, very big sense of humor, so I obviously can be negative and do things and make, I'm really good at that too. But as far as manifesting, I'm aware when I'm doing it, when I'm not doing it. Things that have helped me, I've practiced meditation. It's taken me a long time to get to that. Yeah. But I see the results of it. I wish I meditated more. I practice. I don't even meditate that much. I practice it at the end of the night. I meditate for as much as I can. And it's helped me, quiet the noise. It sounds very trendy when people say quiet the noise, but it's taken me a long time to understand what it was first. I kept looking for these moments where I would just have complete silence, and you taught me, Kristen, that it doesn't really work that way.
Right.
And being able to do that helps me in manifesting. It helps me at times where I'm able to, in the middle of an emotional windstorm that many of us go through all day at different times, to kind of slow my thoughts down, to slow everything down, realize what works, what doesn't work, what's harmful, what isn't harmful, and kind of tap into it in that way.
And I remember when you started learning to really manifest, you started to put your energy into portions of your dream, and it was really exciting to watch each portion of that dream come to fruition for you. And now, it's almost like, I don't want to say we take it for granted, but now it's become your life, right? Like you've got this fantastic practice that you had dreamed of. A lot of that you manifested, and where you stand now, a lot of that came from you believing in your dream and putting the energy into it, using mantras, using meditation, and a couple other things. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
I always had that innate quality. I don't know that I was so tuned into it, but I always would. I grew up with, people grow up, people have negative forces around you all day. There's always people that are doubters, and they're going to say, you're not ready, or you shouldn't do this, and a lot of it doesn't come from a bad place for people. People are generally thinking they're helping you, or people that's the deceptive things. It's the people that care about you the most that are sometimes talking you out of your dreams.
Right.
And it's anxiety. It's them protecting you. And it took me a long time to understand that. But I always had that knack of going against it, where I would say, and I don't know if it came from trauma or if it was stubbornness. I'm not sure what it was, but it was the combination of everything. And I was able to always go against those voices. Say, right. when I wanted to, I wanted to leave. I left college, and I just went and I followed. I went to concerts, and I just needed a mental break. And then everybody said, you'll never go back to school. It's a big, and I knew always, and I didn't listen, and I did what I needed to do to have some freedom and to grab my thoughts. And I got back into school. And then when I got back into school, I knew at some point I was going to law school. People said no, and I'd already been working. So people were like, no, you don't go back to school. There's always the voices. And then when I went to law school and I said I wanted to be a criminal defense attorney, people said, no, don't do criminal work, do this work. And it's always something, and I always went against it. And when I went into private practice, you're not ready, you should stay here longer, work here longer. It's always there. And I realized at some point I came to a realization, after all these great things have always happened for me long term. I envisioned having this wife that I love, and these children that I love, and this, I envisioned all this. And at some point I realized that I've always envisioned this and have always quietly been working on this. And if people can tap into that, and when I can tap into that thought, then it really is incredible. If you talk, and I've met the most successful people. I have a flourishing practice, and I have a lot of friends, and I network, and I'm all over the place, and I meet people that are the most successful people are always tapped into this, always tapped into it. Well, immediately, and they can spot if you are, and if you're not, and they all, and nothing is an accident. Like these, work, when people say work hard, pay off, it's all very similar. It's all tapped into that energy. If you commit to manifesting to what you want, the universe, does it for you, but it moves things out of your way and makes things happen. It's always the case. I mean, so practicing is just literally keeping my head straight and being able to focus in on that concept in the toughest of times.
And I love what you said about the family and the home and the lifestyle, right? Because there was a time when, and I'm going to use an example of my life and tie it into Danny's life here. But when I was in 6th grade, so you're 11 years old in 6th grade, right? I was in this architectural course, and they had us design a house. And so I go through the whole year, I designed this house. And at the end, they had us draw ourselves into this house. And I had drawn myself in with a briefcase going out the front door. I'm in the foyer. And here I am. Right now I live alone in a home, and I leave the house every day with a briefcase, right? Now, I use that example because it goes back to 11 years old. And Danny is telling you that in his life, he always saw this dream. He lived this dream constantly. It was there. It was something he could experience inside, and he knew what he wanted. And it was a wife he loved dearly, kids, a home, a career, and a lifestyle that is exactly what he has now. And he has what he has now because he believed it, he felt it, he experienced it inside his heart, and he lived it every day. And then now, there are things that you have put your mind as well to, beyond just experiencing it. And you've really made things happen for yourself in various facets of this dream that has come true for you. Now you're starting to manifest other things as well. And I love what you're saying to everybody. I think it's really powerful stuff. The energy can always go against you. But when you believe in yourself and you know that dream and you stay in that experience of you and what you wish for, and you stick that out, you're going to open up an energy field of positive that splits away all of that darker energy that's coming at you and opens you to that gateway of your dreams coming true, right?
Right.
That was really well said, Danny.
Right. And the powerful thing is that people don't understand, like when they, how the negative thoughts, how powerful those can be too. Like,
Oh, they can rip you apart.
and it's hard when I'm talking to my children. You know, my one son's, you know, he's 14 now. This is an age where like people are judging you. You know, it's a tough age. It's a tough
Yeah,
age.
it is.
You're doubting yourself, and it's a phase. Like when I was 14, I did the same thing. When I was, you know, when you're in that age,
Yeah,
you don't.
I did too. Yeah.
But it's like you almost have like a cheat sheet, right? I feel like I tell my kid I have the cheat sheet to the exam. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but that's what I tell them. Like, I'm giving you the answers. You know, just buy into what I'm telling you, and it's easier said. It's
Oh, wouldn't it be
you have to
nice?
experience it. You know, I wish. I wish.
I do too, right? But everybody is here to have their own experience. Your kids, though, are so magical, and you know they see it. So that's going to all come in its own time. But yeah, it is that time of that those negative thoughts too. And I just want to throw this out for everybody listening. You know, you have these people around you where you have that what you said was negative energy. Be aware that if you're in that space of negative energy, you're manifesting that as well. It's not that we only manifest our dreams, we also manifest our nightmares. So you have to ask your own self which you wish to manifest. And if you're looking to really create your dreams and create a lifestyle that, you know, are based in your dreams and not your nightmares, then you want to master those challenges that create the negative or the fear-based experiences in your life, or pull them towards you, because once you start to master those, all of that darker energy or negative energy falls away from the picture, and your manifestations are much more of your dream instead of those things that pull you away from the dream. And Danny, you also talked about doubt, and we talked about doubt yesterday, and I think we'll be talking about doubt a lot over the next 12 interviews as well, because everybody has them, right? Everybody has them, and everybody has ego that thinks they've got the answer. Both of those are fear-based. And so as we look at that, right, those are the pieces that we want to help unravel, because as we unravel those pieces inside ourselves, we remove those blocks. And as we remove those blocks, we open up that pathway to a greater gateway of dreams coming true. That makes sense?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the toughest part also. You know,
Yeah.
distinguishing, because you can start to think that I think this, it'll happen. It doesn't really work that way.
No, it does not.
It doesn't. So then, I think bad, that's going to happen. It's about what you really buy into. And
correct.
If you have fears or doubts, understanding, and this is what's the hardest, is understanding where these doubts and fears come from.
Correct.
And that's self, and now it's a lot. That's you know, you got to invest in yourself to kind of figure that out, to really get to a point where a thought is just a thought. It literally, and that's what in meditation I would start. When I meditate, I remember I think like, okay, I have to think of nothing, which is literally the most unreasonable thing you could. Impossible. Like it's just impossible.
It is impossible.
And every time I had a thought, I'd be like, oh, I failed. I got to start over again. And I would go crazy. And then I realized that, you know, I got to a point where I understood that the meditation is you have a thought, you identify the thought, understand the thought, release the thought. Have a thought, identify it, release it. So it's constantly that. And if you can move that into your everyday life, when you have these doubts, you identify it for what it is. You say, all right, well, this is a doubt. It's not real. If I buy into it, it's real. If I buy into it, if I identify it as a doubt and move it aside, it could be there to help you too, right? It's always something in the back of your head that you got to be careful of, you know, as you're, it just is it's a process. It's part of a, like you said, you're removing blocks into your path, and you're creating your path. And that's what it's more about. It's there's levels. You learn and you keep learning. I learn every day. Every day. There's days I call you and I have our session, I'm just ranting and I don't even know why I'm ranting. And you know, and you say, are you done? I'm like, yeah, all right. And then we start identifying why I'm ranting and where it comes from. And that's where I've been able to stabilize and understand and identify, and that's what really helps you manifest. I would say that's the best thing you can learn.
Yes, I think that is, you've heightened all of your magic by doing that, and you've been really good about that. It's really cool.
Right.
Okay, so let me recap because I promised everybody I won't take much of their lunch hour. So we're looking at how Danny uses meditation to help him manifest, how he manifested his greatest dream in his lifestyle, and he just continues to manifest as he goes forward. And that he also talked about that negative energy that can come in. He calls it negative, I call it fear-based energy. That fear-based energy that comes into your life, the doubts, the fears, the energy that's coming from others, right? How do we start to master those that are within ourselves and make that split of those fear-based energies so that we can illuminate the path to great freedom and dreams coming true? So did I miss anything that we kind of talked about today, Danny?
Yeah, right on
Yeah.
point as usual. Right on point. You can veer off with Yoda, and she comes back and brings it to you. Boom, boom. One of her
I love
power.
that. I really do. Danny, I can't thank you enough. I had a great time with you today. I hope everybody out there really enjoyed what they learned today. If you click on the little question button at the bottom of your screen, you can post any questions that you have. I will answer all that I can. So I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. If anyone would like to come on to one of these shows at noon, we're doing them all the way up until the 21st. Please just click on the question and say so, and I'll make sure that we get somebody in touch with you so you can also tell us about your manifestation, or you can ask your manifestation questions. Thank you again, Danny. I look so forward to seeing you soon.
Bye. Bye-bye. See you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining me, and please visit KristenBomas.com where you can easily access all of my social circles.